Good morning, church family. I wanted to encourage you with these words from David in Psalm 62, verse 1. I wait quietly before God, for my victory comes from Him. You know, many years ago, we lived in Rhineland, Saskatchewan, and I pastored a church there, and we lived in a small farmhouse in the middle of huge, expansive wheat fields. One of the things that we noticed one spring was that at the back of the very large yard that we had there were some grain bins set up, and underneath there were a family of foxes that had made their home in a den. They gave us hours of entertainment as we sat inside and during the dinner time when we watched them scamper and play, the mom and dad and a few of the little pups. It was great fun. And then one day we noticed something very peculiar, or maybe very specific. Is that while the rest of the family was tucked in the den underneath the grain bin, the father fox, he trotted away part way across the large expansive yard, and he went and sat right up close to an old shed. And he just sat there quietly, didn't move. We wondered, what is he waiting for? Why is he sitting so still, so quietly? Then we noticed on the far side of the large yard, there was a grove of trees. And just at that time, a scruffy looked to be an old barn cat, was walking out of the trees and then across the back of the yard, the small field. And on the other side of the far yard, there was another grove of trees, and it appeared that he was attempting to get from one area of safety to another one. The whole time, this fox just sat there, completely quiet, motionless, still. And the cat ventured further out from the trees and more into the open of the field. I thought, for sure, the fox is going to go race for its dinner that he can feed his family. But he waited patiently till all of a sudden, when this old scruffy cat was about halfway across this small field, in a flash of red, this fox was departing from its spot, chasing after the cat, and soon he had it, and it was dinner time for his family. And I've often thought about that. The patience, the waiting that this fox exercised. For many of us, waiting quietly, patiently, it just doesn't come easy. It's just not what we do best. For there is so much to get done. Always something to do. But David had this figured out. Times of quietness before God. And he had a whole kingdom to run. He knew what it was like to be busy. But the more that life swirls around us, the more we need to wait on God. Now, it can be a challenge for sure. But as the rest of the world continues to spin around us at a dizzying pace, take a moment to wait quietly before God. Take time to listen to the voice of God, especially in these times when the routine of life has been altered so much. Maybe it means getting up just a little earlier, or possibly staying up just a little later. Or you could possibly use your break at work to walk away from the center of activity and just to be quiet before God. Or maybe you could even just step outside of the house just for a few moments as the kids pummel each other inside. Just to be quiet before the Lord. I wait quietly before God, for my victory comes from Him, as we're reminded by King David in Psalm 62, verse 1. Blessings on your day as we learn to wait quietly before the Lord.